In this video, I'm going to give you the most easily understandable explanation to the movie Bird Box. We will also discuss upon some theories related to the movie, so stick to the end of this video, it is going to be interesting. Before we begin, I would like to remind you to subscribe if you haven't yet. Welcome to Midnight Stories 444. In this movie, the time is frequently switching between the past and present, so I thought of making it simple for you, and I have put all the confusion aside and made the story go from present to future. It will be very easy for you to understand the story. Let's begin. Malorie Hayes, played by Sandra Bullock, is in painting and never leaves the house. Her sister, Jessica Hayes, played by Sarah Paulson, brings all the groceries for her. On the news on TV, Malorie comes to know about large number of people committing suicide in Russia. Later, they go to a hospital for checkup of Malorie as she was pregnant. Her boyfriend Ryan had left her. While going back to the car parked outside the hospital building, she saw a woman trying to kill herself by banging her own head through a glass window. She ran to the car where her sister was waiting for her and asked her to drive as fast as she can as the Russia suicide thing is here. While driving, Jessica sees something which Malorie fails to see. Their car crashes. They both survive the crash, but Jessica intentionally walks up to a running truck and kills herself. In the middle of the chaos, Malorie falls to the ground. A woman comes running to help her. The woman sees someone whom she was calling as mom, whom Malorie fails to see, and the woman kills herself by walking up to a burning car and ends up burning herself. After a chaotic scene, Malorie, Tom, Douglas, Felix, Greg, Charlie, Olympia, Lucy and an old woman are seen inside one house. They find out that if you look at it, it makes you kill yourself. It is the demon here. They shut all the windows with papers and curtains. They start living in the house when a woman called Olympia, who was pregnant, knocks on the door. Douglas was not ready to let open the door, but he had to because Malorie aims a shotgun on him. Soon they started to live together, but the main problem was the supplies. They almost ran out of it. Greg came out with an idea of looking at the demons through the security camera. The idea did not work. Greg too was killed. The supplies in the house was nearly over, so they came up with an idea of going to the supermarket. Charlie had the key to the supermarket as he worked there. They blacked out all the windows of the car and used the GPS of the car to drive. The demons tried to stop them, but somehow they escaped and reached the supermarket. They wore blindfolds while unlocking the door, and after entering, they covered all the windows of the building and took their blindfolds off and referred the supermarket as heaven, which it really was for them at that point. While gathering all the supplies, they heard somebody crying for help. Douglas said not to help the person, he may be infected. Tom opens just a crack and the person was so strong that he was almost about to push through the door upon three of them holding the door. When Charlie runs and pushes the intruder outside along with himself, that's how Charlie dies. They come back home from the supermarket with supplies but without Charlie. The same night, Lucy and Felix take the only car they had and goes to the supermarket to never return, leaving everybody behind. Days started rolling by when a guy named Gary came there. Olympia let him in. Douglas aims a shotgun at Gary and asks him to leave, but the old woman came from behind and struck on his head and he fell to the ground unconscious. Douglas was put in the garage by Tom. Days rolled by when one day both Olympia and Malorie had their delivery. Malorie gave birth to a boy and Olympia gave birth to a girl. When Olympia and Malorie were giving birth with the old women as assistants, Gary removed all the curtains and papers from the windows and forced the old woman to open her eyes and die. And killed Douglas. Douglas shot him a bullet but could not aim it well as his eyes were closed. He was killed by Gary. Tom was unconscious as he was the first person who was struck on the head by Gary. Gary was almost about to kill Tom too, but Tom somehow managed to kill Gary. Olympia died in the chaos with Gary as she saw the demon and jumped out the window. Only Tom, Malorie and the newly born boy and girl survived. Years rolled by. The two kids grew up. The couple and the kids were living quite happily. They hunt in other houses, bring the supplies they find useful for them. One day, a couple of guys were driving with no blacked out windows and no blindfolds. They could see the demon, but they were not dying. They searched for people who were hiding and forced them to see the demon and die. The guys stopped in front of the house and called out to them. Tom said he would distract them and Malorie with kids have to go to the river. Malorie refused to leave Tom, but somehow Tom convinced her. Malorie went to the boat, a rather very small boat. Some days ago on radio a guy said about a location where it is safe. The water is very fast there and they have to follow the sound of birds to reach the place where it is safe. Tom killed everyone and he died too on seeing the demon. Malorie and with kids, after facing several obstacles, reached the location. Their boat tumbled over on the fast water. They were forced to the bank of the river from where they followed the sound of the birds. The demons tried their best to take their blindfolds off, but she was hell of a good mother. They all were safe, for they reached the location said by the guy on radio. It was a school for blind. The film ends here. Before we move on with the theory, I would like to confess that I'm sorry if I know I could not meet your expectations. For this my first video and first videos are never the best ones, so I'm really sorry if I could not meet your expectations. I just hope I could at least give you the information you required. Now for the theory, let's move on with the theory. In the Holy Bible, there is no mention of how demons were made or how they came into existence. There is a part in the movie where Charlie said it is the nature who sent them to make humans kill themselves because humans are disturbing the nature in many ways. We all know the ways, like how we are disturbing the nature, like cutting down a forest, deforestation and pollution and all. Now for the demon, like how the demon looks like. The director tried to show the demon, but it was kind of funny. Like what it came out, it was funny. They failed to make that scary of a face, I guess. So the director just did not put it. It was ready. They painted the face, but they just did not put it in the movie. According to the director, it was funny for her. So there was it. The story of Birdbox. Subscribe for more awesome stories. I know this was not awesome, but I know I will promise there will be very awesome videos coming soon. I'll go now work on another video, I guess.